Good morning. Welcome to Cool Springs. Today is Friday, October the 17th, 2025, and this is our series, Life Lessons. We just have finished recording a moment ago our Heroes and Heroines series, which is another one of our short series. And I made the comment there, and I'll repeat it here, that today all of our short podcasts, our life lessons, our heroes and heroines, our heroes and heroines of the church, our God conversations, and even our questions about God and the Bible, they all are going to have kind of a common theme today because God's orchestrating it that way. Both heroes and heroines and life lessons come from a conversation I had last night with a friend in the local area who teaches the midweek children's ministry at one of our sister churches here in the Coffee Baptist Association. And because she's got like the preschool, kindergarten, and the very youngest elementary school ages together, she's looking for ways to help them engage in learning the gospel message and getting the Bible stories down that keeps them entertained. And I told her, look, it's okay to let them learn by playing. In fact, that's the way kids learn best. And so we had a long discussion about some of the ways that you can let kids play their way through any kind of a Bible story. And I gave her some resources and some examples of things to use. So I'm going to hold this little book up right here. We've definitely made mention of this when we do our online VBS program, but there's a book that you can order from many Christian publishers called More Than Cookies and Punch by Tina Hauser, Houser. And what this book does is it's got Old Testament and New Testament stories that if you're teaching a children's class or you're a parent homeschooling and you want to make snack time a teaching moment, it'll list different stories and it'll have the kinds of things that you can do as a snack to reinforce a Bible story. So I just happened to pull this one up. This one's called Chocolate Anointing. And the Bible story that goes with it is an Old Testament story where the prophet Samuel has been told to go to Bethlehem and anoint the person that God chose him to be the next king of Israel, because Saul has disobeyed God so much that God's going to take the kingdom away from him. And so this gives you a way to have a snack time where the kids would enjoy it, but while you're just enjoying the ice cream with the fudge or the caramel, this one says chocolate anointing, but I mean you could literally use strawberries and the strawberry juice or almost anything else you wanted to pour on top of the scoop of ice cream for the kid to have a snack that they're going to enjoy eating. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? But at the same time that you're just having the snack and enjoying life, you're planting seeds in their mind about what anointing is, because this tells you what to do, what ingredients you need, and gives you questions to ask so that you can engage in a conversation with the kids while they're sitting there enjoying the snack. Do you know what anointing is? What does that word mean? How is it done? Why was it done here in this Bible story? And you're telling or sharing the story with them. And you're not cracking a Bible or a children's ministry book, and you're not necessarily reading it out loud. It's more of telling the story, acting it out, and living it out. And along with our Cookies and Punch book here, there's some other things. We have these in the church. When do candy canes come out? Only around this time of year. You can find peppermints year round, but you don't find the candy cane except when the stores are beginning to put out the holiday stuff. And so this is another simple object lesson that you can let kids have and enjoy eating or playing with, and you can teach them some important truths there, because the candy cane was actually developed by a candy maker about 150 years ago with the intent of being able to teach biblical truths. And so the candy maker takes the red and white peppermint and shapes it into a cross or a shepherd's staff. And if you turn it this way, it looks like a shepherd's staff. But if you turn it this way, it looks like the letter J for Jesus. And sometimes you'll see the peppermint sticks with the red and white stripes alternating, and they'll have 3 thin red stripes like this one. I don't know if our camera operator can zoom in on it to where you can see you certainly can see the bold stripes, but you can see the 3 thin stripes. Those 3 thin stripes are there, specifically 3, to represent the whip that would have been used to scourge Jesus. It would have had 3 leather straps with various sharp objects, broken pottery, glass, bones, those kinds of things, tied into it to make the scourging even more painful. And sometimes you may see a candy cane that has the red and white stripes, but it also has a green stripe in there. And when you put the green one in there, the color symbol is for growth. So just doing simple things like having a snack time with your family or with your little class of students at a children's ministry event helps teach them about the Bible, but you can also let them play their way through the scriptures. And that was part of the conversation that I had with my friend who is a children's teacher. The classes are mixed between boys and girls, but most of the Bible stories feature the boys or the men. Even things like the Christmas story, since we're talking about Christmas here, only one little girl can play Mary. But in the Bible, you have both males and females who are shepherds. But yet when you see church plays, or when the kids ministry is asked to come up and do some sort of a drama in front of the church for the Christmas story, one girl's going to play Mary. All the other girls are going to be angels, even though in the Bible, every time an angel showed up, the angel showed up and appeared in male form. The wise men are going to be males, and the shepherds are generally going to be guys, but yet there were stories in the Bible about female shepherds. And so I was talking to this friend and encouraging her to, when you have a Bible story, don't just sit there and read it to them or let them read exclusively. Yes, they do need the reading skill. And yes, you can use kid-friendly Bible storybooks to let them practice that reading skill. But the best way they learn is by actually playing and acting out the stories. So if you're doing something like even the stoning of Stephen in the book of Acts, you can just take some construction paper or copier paper, whatever you've got there in your classroom, wad it up and let the kids stone Stephen with these wadded up papers that aren't going to hurt, and then talk about what does it take for somebody to have that much hate in their heart to where they not only are gleefully killing somebody, but they think they're doing God a favor to try to get them to engage in the Bible story and think things through, and you can act out so many different things. Joseph's coat of many colors. If somebody's wearing article of clothing, a shirt or sweater or something, and it happens to have 3 or 4 colors or more on there, then you can act out that story and let the kids play their way through the scriptures. Because they remember 90% of what they do and only about 10% of what they just see or hear. So the idea of teaching your kids about the things of God by actively engaging them in it. For some of these cookies and punch type things, it's a case of, depending upon the child's age and skill level, they may be able to safely help you put it together. And even if they can, even if they're just on the receiving, eating end of it, as you're explaining the story and working with them to understand what's going on here, it helps them not only enjoy the snack, but to remember and associate the visual on the snack with the Bible story. A couple of years ago at VBS, we had the theme was Daniel in Babylon, and one of our snacks was a piece of bologna, nice round piece of bologna, and we used like shredded cheese to make the lion's mane, and pretzel sticks to make the lion's whiskers, and things like chocolate drops to make the eyes, or little bits of cheese to make the eyes and mouth. And so it's a beautiful little snack, and the kids want to eat it, but they don't want to eat it because they don't want to mess up their lion. But the next time you try to serve your kids a bologna sandwich, you're not going to be able to have just a bologna sandwich. They're going to want the cheese and the pretzels and the other things on there to make it like a lion again, and then they'll enjoy eating it, even if you put another piece of bread on top of it, because you see, they remember how much fun it was to see their snack, piece of bologna and cheese and pretzels, looking like a toy lion. And you're helping reinforce that. So learning how to play with your kids through the scriptures, how to turn almost anything into a teaching moment about God is a good thing. Thanks for watching.